Before you were celebrated, you were targeted. Before you understood who you were, resistance recognized you. Some lives are not attacked because they are weak, but because they are dangerously anointed. There is a level of divine marking that doesn't announce itself with applause, but with pressure, isolation, and unusual trials. If your journey has felt heavier than most, if your spirit has been refined through fire instead of comfort, this message is not a coincidence, it is confirmation. God does not anoint people casually. He anoints those he can trust with weight. That anointing disturbs systems, exposes hidden motives, and shifts atmospheres wherever it goes. It attracts warfare before it attracts favor, and many who carry it don't realize why their lives have been a series of tests, separations, and sudden awakenings. This is not about pride or self-elevation, it is about awareness, because the most dangerous thing is not being anointed, it is being anointed and unaware. If you've ever felt different without knowing why, burdened without being broken, isolated yet protected, then you need to listen closely. The signs you're about to hear are not common, they are rare. And if they resonate with you, it means heaven has already marked you for something far greater than comfort, something extraordinary. You are the chosen one. Here are the signs. Number 1. Your presence provokes reactions you never asked for. You don't say much, yet people feel exposed around you. Some are drawn to you, others feel irritated or threatened. That reaction isn't random. Light disturbs what hides comfortably in darkness. You walk into rooms quietly, yet something shifts the moment you arrive. You don't announce yourself. You don't compete for attention. Still, conversations change tone, energy tightens, and people suddenly become more aware of themselves. Some lean toward you instinctively, feeling seen and understood without explanation. Others grow defensive, uneasy, or strangely irritated without you having said a single wrong word. This is not coincidence, and it is not imagination. Your presence carries exposure, not because you judge, but because you see. And when truth stands in a room, even silently, it makes masks uncomfortable. People who have grown used to hiding behind charm, noise, or control feel unsettled around you. Your calm challenges their chaos. Your clarity disrupts their confusion. Light does not attack darkness. It simply reveals it, and revelation is threatening to anything that survives on concealment. This is why reactions to you are extreme. People rarely feel neutral. They either feel drawn to your depth or repelled by what it awakens in them. Some will project their insecurities onto you. Others will accuse you of being intense, distant, or too much, when in truth, you are simply aligned. Your stillness reflects what others have been running from. Understand this, the discomfort you cause is not a flaw, it is a function. You were never meant to blend in or soften your essence to keep others comfortable. Your presence is a mirror, and not everyone likes what they see when they stand near it. So don't shrink, don't over-explain, and don't apologize for reactions you never asked for. The same presence that unsettles the unready will heal, awaken, and guide those who are meant to find you. Number 2, your life experiences prepared you, not broke you. You've survived things that should have hardened you, yet you emerged with discernment instead of bitterness. Pain became training. Trauma became testimony. There are chapters of your life that, on the surface, look like they should have ruined you. Seasons that could have turned you cold, bitter, or cruel. Moments where giving up would have been understandable, and yet here you are. Still soft where it matters, still discerning, still capable of love, clarity, and restraint. That alone reveals something uncommon about you. What you went through was not random suffering. It was intentional preparation. Each disappointment sharpened your perception. Each betrayal taught you how to see motives beneath words. Each loss trained you to separate attachment from assignment. While others hardened to survive, you learned how to see to survive. That is not weakness, that is wisdom forged in fire. Pain did not poison you. It educated you. It taught you when to speak and when to stay silent, when to walk away without closure. when to trust your spirit over your emotions. You didn't just endure trauma, you metabolized it. You extracted understanding from hurt, meaning from confusion, and clarity from chaos. That is a rare alchemy. This is why your insight feels deep and your boundaries feel firm. You didn't read this understanding in a book, you lived it. Your testimony is not loud, but it is heavy. It carries authority because it was earned, not imagined. And the very things meant to break you became the credentials that qualify you. You were not preserved by accident. God protected your heart while strengthening your discernment because He needed you whole, not hardened. Your past did not damage your calling, it designed it. And now, what once wounded you has become the very lens through which you guide, warn, heal, and awaken others. Number 3, comfort makes you uncomfortable. When life gets too easy, something inside you feels uneasy. You crave purpose over pleasure. Rest feels good, but stagnation feels wrong. There is a strange tension inside you that most people don't understand. When things finally calm down, when routines become predictable and life starts to feel easy, instead of relief, you feel restless. It's not because you enjoy struggle or chaos. It's because your spirit recognizes the difference between rest and settling. Comfort soothes the body, but stagnation suffocates your calling. You were not designed to live on autopilot. Ease without meaning feels empty to you. While others celebrate convenience, your soul starts asking deeper questions. Is this all? Is this where I stop growing? Is this still aligned with who I'm becoming? That inner discomfort is not ingratitude, it's divine alertness. It's your spirit resisting smallness. You crave purpose more than pleasure. Entertainment fades quickly for you. Excess comfort dulls your sharpness. You may enjoy rest, but only as a refueling station, not a destination. The moment comfort begins to replace vision, you feel misaligned. Your spirit starts pushing, stirring, whispering that there is more to be done, more to be built, more to be answered. This is why you often disrupt your own comfort zones. You walk away from situations others would cling to. You choose growth over safety, calling over convenience, not because it's easy, but because staying still feels harder. Understand this. God wired you this way intentionally. If comfort never fully satisfies you, it's because you were not created for maintenance. You were created for movement. Rest when needed, yes, but never confuse peace with passivity. Your unease in comfort is not a flaw. It is a compass, constantly pointing you toward purpose, evolution, and divine assignment. Number 4, you are misunderstood, even by those who love you. People close to you sense you're different, but they can't explain it. You're too deep for shallow conversations and too focused for distractions. Loneliness follows anointing. There is a quiet distance that follows you, even in rooms filled with people who care about you. They love you, support you, and mean well, yet there is a part of you they cannot reach. Not because you hide it, but because they don't have language for it. They sense you're different, they feel your depth, but they can't fully explain it, so it often comes out as misunderstanding. You listen more than you speak, you think before you act. You move with intention, not impulse. To those who live on surface-level connection, this can feel strange, even intimidating. You're not uninterested, you're discerning. You're not cold, you're focused. But depth is often mistaken for distance by those who measure connection by noise. Shallow conversations drain you. Distractions feel heavy. Small talk rarely satisfies because your mind is wired for meaning. You're tuned into purpose, timing, and impact. While others chase momentary excitement, you're building something inwardly, something that requires solitude, silence, and reflection. That difference creates a gap, even with those who love you. Loneliness is not always the absence of people. Sometimes it's the absence of resonance. You can be surrounded and still feel unseen. This is one of the quiet costs of anointing. God often separates before He elevates. He allows misunderstanding to refine your identity so you don't depend on validation to stay aligned. This season of being misunderstood is not permanent, but it is purposeful. It teaches you to walk with God instead of applause, to trust inner confirmation over external agreement, One day, your depth will become guidance for others. Until then, honor the solitude. Not everyone is meant to understand you. Some are meant to be impacted by you later. Number 5. You are attacked at transition points. Right before breakthroughs, chaos increases. Confusion, delay, and resistance intensify because opposition recognizes movement before manifestation appears. There is a pattern in your life that only becomes clear in hindsight. The moment you decide to grow, shift, or obey a deeper calling, resistance suddenly multiplies. Things that were once calm become complicated. People misunderstand you. Opportunities stall. Doubt grows louder. It feels irrational. Why would things get harder when you're finally moving in the right direction? But this is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Transition is loud in the spirit realm before it is visible in the natural. Opposition recognizes movement long before manifestation appears. That's why attacks intensify at the threshold. Confusion tries to cloud your discernment. Delays test your patience. Distractions attempt to pull you back into familiarity. The goal is not to stop you, only to exhaust you enough to make you abandon the shift. What feels like chaos is often compression. Pressure builds right before expansion. You are being stretched to carry what is coming. If the enemy could see no future impact in you, there would be no urgency to resist you now. The attack itself reveals the value of what you're stepping into. This is why you must learn to interpret resistance correctly. Not every closed door is rejection. Not every delay is denial. Sometimes it is a final refining, a test of resolve, a moment where obedience matters more than clarity. Breakthroughs rarely arrive quietly. They are preceded by shaking. So, when everything starts pressing at once, don't panic, pause. Ask what is shifting. Strengthen your focus. Guard your spirit. Transition demands awareness. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are being challenged because you are moving. And movement, especially toward purpose, always provokes resistance before it produces reward. Number 6. You can't stay where God has outgrown. Places, relationships, and environments expire around you. When you try to remain, your spirit becomes restless. Anointing demands elevation. There comes a moment when what once fit you no longer does. The conversations feel repetitive. The environment feels heavy. The relationships feel familiar but unfulfilling. It's not that the place is bad, it's that God has outgrown it through you. And when you try to stay, your spirit begins to protest. Restlessness sets in, not because you are ungrateful, but because alignment has shifted. You are wired to sense spiritual expiration. When growth happens internally, your surroundings must eventually catch up or fall away. Places that once nurtured you can no longer contain who you are becoming. Relationships that thrived on your former version struggle to connect with your evolving one. This is where tension begins. Comfort whispers, stay. Calling insists, move. Anointing does not allow prolonged stagnation. It applies pressure when you linger too long in expired spaces. You may feel unsettled, drained, or strangely uninspired. That discomfort is not rebellion. It is elevation calling your name. God refuses to let you rot in places He has already graduated you from. This is also why exits in your life are rarely gentle. They are abrupt, emotional, sometimes misunderstood. Separation hurts, but staying would cost you more. When God shifts you, it's not to punish what you're leaving, it's to protect what you're carrying. Understand this. Not everyone can go where you're going, and not every place deserves the next version of you. Anointing requires room to stretch, refine, and increase. If your spirit keeps pulling forward while your life keeps pulling backward, trust the pull. You are not losing stability, you are being promoted. And promotion always requires leaving something behind. Number 7, your silence speaks louder than your words. You don't need to announce yourself. When you withdraw, people feel it. When you speak, it lands with weight. Authority follows restraint. You are not loud by nature, and you don't feel the need to constantly explain yourself. You've learned that presence doesn't come from volume, it comes from weight. When you are silent, the room still shifts. People notice when you pull back. not because you are dramatic, but because your energy carries substance. Absence from someone ordinary goes unnoticed. Absence from someone anointed creates awareness. Your silence is not emptiness, it is containment. You observe before you engage. You listen before you speak. And because you don't waste words, the ones you release matter. When you finally speak, it lands with clarity and authority. People pause. Conversations stop. Not out of fear, but out of recognition. Something real has entered the room. This is why you're often misunderstood as distant or reserved. In truth, you are disciplined. You don't argue for validation or speak to be seen. You understand that authority grows when words are rare and intentional. Noise seeks attention. Restraint commands respect. Even your withdrawal teaches. When you step back, others are forced to reflect. Your silence exposes who valued your presence and who only valued your availability. It draws boundaries without confrontation. It protects your spirit without explanation. Authority follows restraint because power is safest in controlled hands. God trusts you with weight because you don't misuse influence. You don't dominate spaces, you anchor them. You don't force your voice, you release it when timing demands it. So don't apologize for your quiet nature. Don't confuse silence with weakness. In a world addicted to noise, your restraint is your signature. When you speak, it echoes. When you move, it's felt. And when you are silent, it still speaks louder than words ever could. Number 8. You're called too much or too different. Your standards intimidate. Your boundaries offend. Your clarity unsettles those still negotiating with compromise. You've probably heard it more than once. You're too much, or you're different. At first it stings. It makes you question if your authenticity is a flaw. But the truth is, these labels are proof of your alignment, not your error. You are living on a frequency that others can't easily measure, and that alone makes some uncomfortable. Your standards are high, not out of arrogance, but out of integrity. You won't compromise your values for convenience or approval. This clarity intimidates those who are still negotiating with compromise in their own lives. Your refusal to bend or dilute your truth is a mirror they see themselves reflected in what they've been avoiding, and it unsettles them. Boundaries, too, have always been essential to you. You know that every yes carries weight, and every no protects destiny. To some, this feels offensive, controlling, or unapproachable, but to those who understand, it is proof of self-respect and purpose-driven living. Being too much or too different is the cost of walking a path that is sacred, anointed, and rare. It's a sign that you are refusing to conform to mediocrity and that you are refusing to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Embrace it. The labels are not chains, they are confirmations. You are operating at a level that most cannot reach, and that discomfort you provoke in others is the exact space where transformation begins. God's work is never neutral, and neither are you. Your difference is your distinction, and your too much is your testimony in motion. Number 9. You sense things before they happen. You feel shifts before they occur. You know when something is about to end or begin. This awareness is not anxiety, it's discernment sharpening. You often know before you know. There's no announcement, no visible evidence, yet something inside you shifts first. A quiet knowing settles in your spirit long before events catch up in the physical world. You sense when a chapter is closing even while everything still looks normal. You feel beginnings forming while others are still comfortable where they are. This awareness is subtle, but it is precise. At times, you've questioned it. You've wondered if you were overthinking, imagining things, or being anxious. But anxiety agitates, discernment clarifies. What you experience doesn't rush you, it prepares you. It creates space in your spirit before space is required in your life. You don't panic when endings approach. You slowly detach. You don't chase beginnings. You quietly align. This sensitivity is the result of refinement. Your spirit has been trained through experience, silence, prayer, and observation. You've learned to read atmosphere, intention, and timing. You feel emotional shifts in rooms. You notice when people change before their words do. You recognize when grace is lifting, even if no conflict has occurred. That is not coincidence. It is discernment, sharpening through use. This is why sudden changes rarely shock you. You've already processed them inwardly. While others react, you respond. While others scramble, you adjust. God often whispers to you before he moves publicly, not to make you superior, but to make you prepared. Honor this gift. Don't silence it to fit in, or explain it away to feel normal. Discernment is your early warning system and your divine compass. When you sense something ending or beginning, lean in. Heaven is often speaking before the world catches up. Number 10. Your calling comes with responsibility, not popularity. Being dangerously anointed doesn't make life easier, it makes it meaningful. You're trusted with impact, not applause. And heaven expects you to steward it well. Anointing is rarely glamorous. It doesn't come with universal approval, standing ovations, or social applause. In fact, the more your life aligns with purpose, the less it aligns with popularity. Being dangerously anointed isn't about comfort, it's about responsibility. You are entrusted with influence, vision, and impact that extend far beyond personal gain or recognition. Your calling is a weight, not a reward. Every choice, every word, every decision carries consequence, not just for you, but for those your life touches. That is why anointing often feels isolating, because it requires clarity, courage, and sacrifice that not everyone is willing to match. People may misunderstand you, criticize you, or resist the shifts you create, but none of that diminishes the significance of your assignment. Life becomes meaningful when it serves higher purposes, not when it seeks validation. Popularity fades, trends pass, but your obedience, discernment, and willingness to act according to God's design leave an imprint that time cannot erase. Heaven does not measure you by the number of followers you have, the applause you receive, or the ease of your path. It measures you by how faithfully you steward the gifts, influence, and opportunities given to you. This is the paradox of being dangerously anointed. The path is heavier, the trials sharper, and the recognition delayed, but the impact is eternal. Your life is not meant to entertain or impress. It is meant to fulfill, transform, and shift destiny. And if you choose responsibility over popularity, the world and heaven will feel the weight of your presence. If these signs stirred something deep within you, understand this: the anointing on your life is not accidental, and it is not for decoration. It is a divine assignment. God does not place weight on a vessel he has not strengthened, and he does not awaken purpose in someone he plans to abandon. Every delay, every battle, every season of isolation was shaping your capacity, sharpening your discernment, and teaching you how to carry what others would misuse. Being dangerously anointed does not mean your path will be easy. It means your life will be impactful. You were never meant to blend in, shrink back, or beg for permission to be who God called you to be. The resistance you faced was proof of relevance. The misunderstandings were evidence of separation. And the pressure you survived was preparation, not punishment. Now comes the responsibility. Anointing grows dangerous when ignored, but it becomes powerful when aligned. You are being called to walk with clarity, discipline, and obedience, not for applause, not for validation, but for assignment. The same God who marked you will sustain you, protect you, and guide you if you choose purpose over fear. So don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Don't apologize for your depth. And don't waste this season pretending you are ordinary. You were chosen to shift atmospheres, awaken minds, and carry truth into dark places. Step forward with humility, but never with hesitation. Heaven is watching what you do next.